Hey guys, so it's been about a month since I switched from 1.5 reed to 2.0 reed, and now I've wanted to switch and try even harder reeds for some time, and today I finally found the time to go to the shop and I got myself a 2.5 reed, 3.0 reed, 3.5 reed, and these are all by Vandoren, so the reeds that I have been using, and these are traditional reeds for alto saxophone. And then I also wanted to try out another brand, so this is Rico, and they were bought out by the Dario, and they started making reeds that are sort of like higher classification, I suppose. And this one is called Select Jazz, and their classification slightly differs. So instead of going in like 2.5 to etc. strengths steps, they instead make too soft, too medium, and too hard. So because I'm trying to try harder reeds, I've asked, based on the recommendation of the shop assistant, I've bought a too hard reed to try it out, just to see if I can actually tell any difference between the Dario and Vandoren reeds. So I watched some videos on YouTube about the strengths of the reed, and apparently, you know, you can go quite high in terms of the strengths, but some argue that, you know, once you reach a certain strength level, say about 3.5, it doesn't often make sense to go up higher. And talking to my teacher, who is based in Moscow, so Ekaterina, she actually said, yeah, that the professionals normally tend to play reeds with the strength of about 3.0 to 3.5. So let's go with 2.5. I'm just gonna unpack it. Let's see. Vandoren reeds come in these pockets where you need to insert the reed sideways, and I actually don't like these pockets. I prefer the ones that are made by Rico, where you actually insert the reed this way, but you know, this is just one observation. And I'm just gonna try out a song that I've been practicing for a while now. It's a song by Elton John called Can You Feel the Love Tonight? So to make the test comparable, I'm just going to play the same tune with all of the reeds. Okay, so this is me using the 2.0 strength reed that I've been using for about a month now, and then we're going to step it up to 2.5, 3.0, 3.5. I'm almost curious to see how it goes. With 1.5 to 2.0, the strength, the step up was slightly noticeable. It wasn't impossible for me to blow it, but I could feel the difference. So I'm pretty sure I'll sense something similar. So it's actually not too bad. I'm actually able to produce a sound, which is great news. So I'm gonna try the same song, Can You Feel the Love Tonight, with the 2.5 strength reed. So it's actually a little bit harder. It's not impossible, but I did find myself, it was, at the beginning of the song, I wasn't actually able to start the note at first, so I had to rewind. And then as the song progressed, I found myself sort of almost biting on the reed a little bit harder to produce the sound. But what I did notice, and you know, this may be subjective, but I think the sound is a little bit smoother with a stronger reed. That's what I felt. Maybe there's less imperfections, so to speak, in the sound. So let's see, I'm gonna try the 3.0 reed. Now I haven't tried the 2.5. I am almost curious, but a bit apprehensive if I'm gonna be able to produce any sound at all from the 3.0. Not even talking about 3.5 reed, but let's give it a go. We may have to leave it until a later time if my muscles prove to be too weak to do that. Okay, so it's not impossible, as you could see, but it is harder. I almost feel like my cheeks are gonna explode at any point. And I feel like I need to tense all of my body, which is probably not a great thing. It's almost like sometimes they say they have the gym analogy where you don't want to lift too heavy weights until your muscles develop enough. But I'm gonna give it a try anyways, and then we'll see. I'll probably have to leave the 3.5 aside. Is it 3.5 or 3.0? Hold on, I've lost track of it. Yeah, oh yeah, so this is 3.0, it's not even 3.5 yet. So let's give it a try, and then we'll see how it goes with 3.5. I'm doubtful that I'll be able to do the 3.5 today, but let's, you know, we'll experiment anyways. Okay, so this definitely felt like an exercise. I can feel the tension here, and my jaw has tensed up, and I found myself biting on the mouthpiece much harder, you know, to produce the sound and to make the note. And I also felt the tension, or maybe perhaps not the tension, but sort of my muscles tense up a little bit more around the diaphragm area. So yeah, it's like a proper exercise. I feel like my jaw is hurting right now. So this is with a 3.0 reed, and I'm just gonna try the 3.5. Having tried the 2.5 and 3.0, now I feel like I'm gonna need to stick to 2.5 before I even move on to 3.0, but I can see why people want to move up to a stronger reed, because I feel like the sound that you produce is a little bit more forgiving in some ways. Like one of the reasons why I wanted to move up from 2.0 to 2.5 and potentially higher was because on one of the songs that I'm trying right now, there's a high D note, and I feel like this note is almost like very squeaky, and I'm hoping that with a stronger reed it'll be less squeaky, but you know, we'll see. The proof will be in the eating of the pudding, so to speak. So let's now try the 3.5 reed. I don't think, I'm afraid I may not be able to produce the sound or consistently try, you know, playing the song, because even with the 3.0 reed, I found myself, because I was tensing up so much, I was making many more mistakes than I was doing with the 2.5 reed. Oh, sugar. I almost, let's see, I haven't damaged it too much, I guess, but I was a little bit inaccurate when I was putting my mouthpiece on. Not the mouthpiece, but ligature, and then it sort of caught one of the ends of the reed, but I don't think it made too much damage to it, so we should be fine. So I got these reeds at a discount in this shop called Solar Music here. I think normally they go for about $7, and I got them for about $5 Australian, which is about, I want to say, $3 to $4 American, probably $3 American. And the good thing is that you can get them piecemeal, so you don't have to buy a whole pack. And what I found, you know, with buying 2.0 reeds, I'm now finding months later that I'm needing to go up or wanting to go up. So again, there's no point in buying a whole pack of like 10 reeds just to find yourself that you're not going to be using them later on. So I'm gonna try again the same song on this reed, but I'll probably be making a lot of mistakes, and I may not even be able to produce the correct notes in the correct timing. wasn't too bad, maybe partially because since I've already played this part of the song quite a few times during this shooting, I'm messing up the notes less than at the beginning, but still I could feel my jaws are intenser now. I will not be surprised, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow when I wake up this whole area is gonna hurt. And I do find that I need to work a little bit more meticulously and accurately with my diaphragm. I can't be just, you know, relaxed with it and just do it as if as, you know, as when I was using the 2.0 reed. So yeah, what I think I'll do again is I'll be using the 2.5 strength reeds for some time now. Actually bought two of them so that I can swap them over, and then once I feel ready I'll step it up to 3.0, and then if I, you know, I'll probably be making another visit to the shop in the near future, and you know, by the time that I feel like I'm ready to move on from 2.5, I'll probably buy one or two more 3.0 reeds, and then once I feel like, you know, I'm ready to move on to 3.5, I'll repeat the process. And in the meantime, I'm curious to test out the Dario reed by Rico. So this one, as I said, is too hard, so they come in too soft, too medium, and too hard. And on the recommendation of the shop assistant, I bought the too hard. He didn't recommend that I buy 3 soft, so let's see. And this reed comes as unfiled, so apparently they're filed reeds which have this vertical line that crosses the reed. That means that they're filed, and then there's some reeds that are unfiled, like this one. So this one doesn't have a vertical line going through it. Let me just show it to you better. As you can see, this one doesn't have a vertical line, whereas the Vandoren ones have it. I'm not quite sure what the difference is. The shop person, the guy in the shop did try to explain it to me, and frankly speaking, I didn't quite understand. I probably need to look up some YouTube videos about it. Okay, this one is, I think it's actually, maybe because I'm going from 3.5 Vandoren reed to this too hard reed. This one seems very light, but let's give it a go with playing a song. It almost, I want to say it feels closer to 2.5 or even 2.0 strength reed by Vandoren. reed, I almost want to go back to 2.5 strength reed by Vandoren to see if I can, compare them side to side, so to speak. This reed feels a little bit brighter and a little bit more sort of rough on the edges compared to the Vandoren reeds. I felt like the Vandoren reeds were the sound was a little bit more consistent, whereas this one felt a little bit more sort of had a little bit more brightness and variation, so to speak. Yeah, it was almost, I don't know, it was almost a little bit kind of more rough around the edges and more abrupt, so to speak. Almost like Vandoren felt a little bit more classical. This one was felt a little bit more pop sounding to a degree, if I were to draw the parallel. Maybe this is the difference in the classification as well, because this one is called Select Jazz, and the Vandoren ones are traditional reeds, which I believe are used mostly for classical performance. So yeah, let's go back to Vandoren 2.5. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is to make the comparison a little bit more objective, I'm gonna switch off the reverb on my pedal so that you guys can hear the difference, and I'm gonna put back the Dario reed after I play the Vandoren reed without the reverb, so you can actually have a listen without any external improvements to the sound from the reverb. Okay, so the 2.5 reed by Vandoren, the traditional one, is definitely, for me, feels harder and more difficult on the embouchure muscles than the too hard Select Jazz by the Dario. And again, I'm gonna play the too hard Select Jazz by the Dario without the reverb, so you guys can tell or hear the difference between the two better. This one, on further observations, I think it almost maybe has a little bit more vibration and vibrato, so to speak, because it does feel a little bit brighter, and it almost, in my ears, in the headphones, it almost sounds more louder than the 2.5 traditional reed by Vandoren. It's louder and brighter. So now that I've tried the 2.5 strength reed, I'm curious to see how it's going to perform on this high note in this song that I've tried before, and it sounded a bit squeaky on a 2.0 strength reed. So let's see how it goes. So what I've noticed is that the higher note, the high D in this case, sounds a little bit cleaner on the 2.5 compared to 2.0 strength reed. And then also one thing that I don't like when I play is switching from a C to a D. And there are a couple of songs, including this one, and then the other song that I'm trying is 1,000 Years by Katy Perry. And in that song as well, there's a lot of, I think during the chorus, there's a lot of notes where you switch from a C to a D. So you basically, you need to go from this, sorry, not C, from a B, which is, I just refer to it C sometimes because that's the way you call a B in Russian, and I guess in Italian it's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, or T. So when you switch from a B to a D with an octave key, it sounds a little bit messy, but on this harder reed, on the 2.5, it actually sounds a little bit more accurate and less messy than on the 2.0 reed. Let me guys know in your comments what you thought about these reeds, and also what reeds you're trying out now, and if you stopped at any particular strengths of reed and you know you're not trying to go any further, please also let me know, because I'm curious to see what it is that you're using, and at what point should I stop trying to go up strengths. Also, if you have any specific preference in terms of the brand, so Vandoren, the Dario, or any other ones, I don't actually know much about the reeds, let me know. And just as another point worthwhile to mention is during this test I'm using the standard Yamaha 4C mouthpiece, and it's a Yamaha Alto YAS280 is kind of standard beginner saxophone setup. So if you guys are interested in following my saxophone journey, I'm planning to do a 3 months or 6 months progress video, and you can also see some progress videos of me learning piano and guitar. And also, if you're interested in listening to me sing, please tune into one of my weekly live streams on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And I'll see you. Bye.